Last March 22, Sunday, I had a bad headache. I thought it is just a normal headache, so I went to bed early, hoping that it will be gone the next day. But for the following day, aside from the headache, I also got fever, and for the next 5 days, it was on and off. March 28, Saturday, I heard some commotion outside my unit, so I checked, and I saw a sign that says, "Do not enter," because my landlord is tested positive with COVID-19. I got scared because since March 17, I never went out of my unit, and the only time that I went out is when I did my laundry in their apartment, and I had a short conversation with him. So I called 811 and told them about my situation. But since I do not have any travel history and I was not able to give him my temperature that time because I do not have thermometer, so he told me that it's just a simple flu. So I told Sister Mitch about it, and they offered to bring bring thermometer, also some medicines because I ran out of paracetamol, and also for my groceries. March 29, I called 811 again, and I told them that I still had a fever, which is 39 degrees. So they scheduled me for swab test the following day. March 30, I went to Heartland, which is 15 to 20 minutes drive from my place, and did the swab test. After that, I went back to my unit, but after that, I got some chills. I was also coughing, and I had cold at that time, and I feel very weak because I was not eating because food tastes during that time it tastes their taste not normal. And then Tuesday came. Aside from those, I got some muscle pain, and then Wednesday I was having difficulty in breathing. I got easily tired, and I told my family about it. So they told me to call 911, but I told them I can still manage. So I just told them I'll sleep and rest, and I will just call them the next Thursday. And Thursday came. I got really scared because in spite of not eating, I was having diarrhea. So at that instance, I called 911, and they brought me to the hospital. They placed me in an isolation room, and then the nurse told me that my result just came and it was positive with COVID-19. I just answered okay to the nurse and reached out for my phone and told my family and friends about it. When I was alone in the isolation room, I pray that God just be with me. And I also prayed for the medical staff who were attending. I prayed for their wisdom and also for their strength. And then after a couple of hours, the doctor came, and he told me that he will not be able to send me home because my lungs were not in good shape because I had pneumonia. It was not what I was expecting, but I gave my full trust. So I was in ICU for 3 days, and after 3 days, all my vitals got normal, and my fever was gone. So they transferred me in the recovery room. And in that recovery room, one time I went to the toilet, and I was really had hard time breathing, and I was really gasping for air. And then I started asking God, is it my time? Is my purpose all done? I also asked God why He placed me here in Canada. Is the last SFCCLP my last stint? And then I also asked myself, have I done enough? But after a while, I realized that there's nothing I can do to outdone God. And He is a loving God. And there is nothing that I can do or anything that I do that will change that. But I requested I requested Him that please not let me die during that time because it was really lonely. From what I've read, that people with COVID-19 will just die alone. And I don't want that to happen to me. I still wanted to see my family and my friends. So, so I think God's answer is it's not my time yet. So after 7 days in the recovery room and a day before the Easter, I was discharged from the hospital. Praise God. And for that 3 weeks of my life, there's a lot of learning, a lot of realization. First, weeks before that, before I got sick, I was busy planning my life. I was busy planning 3 to 5 years of my life here in Canada. And I was also had a financial setback then. So I was planning how to cope up with that. But with all what happened to me, even though I have a lot of plans for myself, God plans will always prevail. And that He showed me that I just need to give Him my full trust. Second, another learning is that it also humbled me because I'm a person who I thought I'm always a self-sufficient. And it's hard for me to ask favor or help from anyone because of my pride. But because of what happened to me, I realized that I need others and I have to be open from others' help because I cannot do it alone. And it all and from what happened to me, it also showed that and I realized that I'm also weak. Only when I realize that I'm weak, that's the only time that I'll be able to accept help from others. God showed that to me. And third is that I am more grateful of communities, friends, and people around me. During that time that I was in the hospital, a lot of messages and prayers came in, and I was so grateful, and it helped me to recover. And I also know that you also prayed for me a lot. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your prayers, for your messages. And it really helped me to recover. And maybe what that's also one of the reason when one of the sisters asked me um, what I felt when I've learned that I have COVID-19. To be honest, when the nurse told me that I was positive, I was so calm. Maybe because I know that a lot of people were praying for me. And I always believe in the power of prayers. I know even my non-Christian friends, like some of my Buddhist friend and Muslim were also praying for me. And it's really essential for one person to have a community, to have friends. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And third is that at the end of the day, when everything will not matter anymore, you will always go back to your core, which is your faith and your family. Um, when you're at that point that when everything will not matter to you, you will always go back to your faith and you will just ask for your family. And it also taught me how to be grateful and to be thankful even for small things. Because 7 days I was in the recovery room, I don't have anything aside my from my phone and the window in front of me. I was able to see the pink moon, the snowstorm, and the sunset and the sunrise. I al- I have seen them before, but they never look amazing during those times. And a lot of us maybe those small stuff like oxygen that we thought it's just normal, but when I was in the hospital and they removed my oxygen tube and my oxygen level went down, I realized how important that oxygen is. So I've learned to be more grateful and to be more appreciative, especially of those small things. I know we're not, um, there's a long way to go with this, what's happening around us. But I always believe that God is in control and He's always with us. Just give our full trust to Him. And for that, may God be praised.